Welcome everybody to today's webinar titled From Chaos to Control, Taming and Managing Your Cloud with One Portal. So I'm Joshana and I'll be your host for this webinar. So in this webinar, we will discuss about what are the challenges in managing multi-cloud environment and what is the best solution for it. So it is now with great pleasure that I hand it over to Adi to moderate the session now. Adi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joshana, and hi to all attendees joining us for today's webinar. So our first session today, we will focus on the challenges of managing multiple cloud environments. Here we have two expert speakers with us today who have vast experience in the IT and the cloud industry. So the first speaker, I would like to introduce Natalie, a cloud methodologist from Cloudify Asia. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Adi.
All right, Natalie. Can you share with our audience when you started your cloud journey and why you choose this industry?
Okay. I think actually I started this cloud journey when there's a lot of requests coming from our partners and also end user when they come to a need of to do this tech refresh or additional resources required for their new applications to be hosted. As you all know that actually for IT, right, there is always a common issue where there is limited budget. Because most of the people look at IT as a cost center instead of a profit center. So when cloud come in and offer something pay as you use, that is what make the customer think that, hey, there is something that it could fit their, can solve their problems. And then also there's a lot of times that for a typical project or typical procurement process, we know that is very time consuming. So it leads to a very slow provisioning when come to the infrastructure side. And because of this also delay the time to the market from the business point of view. So that is why people start to adopt into this cloud. And that is my experience in this cloud journey.
Wow, that's great to hear that. Thanks for joining us today. All right, moving on, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Bert Lim, a Chief Technical Navigator from Cloudify Asia.
Yeah. Hi, Adi. Hey,
Hello, Bert.
thanks for having me here today. So I think, I've been in IT for about 20 odd years. So I think as we move along, from infrastructure to managed infrastructure, and now, cloud is the preferred destination. However, I think what the main key things is that everyone must remember is that why cloud adoption is there is because of the features and the functions that cloud offers, right? For example, if we want to take up a lot of new technologies around big data, around analytics, around visual analytics, and so on, the first question, coming from a technical guy is, okay, who knows how to install it? What should I install? What resources I need and how much does it cost, right? So these are common questions that I've heard from my customers over the years, and to me, these are the reasons why the cloud journey is important. Is because everyone is able to adopt new technology, adopt the latest greatest things. Currently the hottest thing is ChatGPT. Everyone is figuring out how to maximize on it, right? And these are some of the actual technical and business related requirements that is driving the journey to cloud. Okay, so I've been in this industry for about 20 years, and I've seen it come from the on-prem world to physical world to a virtualized world, and now we're moving off towards a cloud world.
All right, Natalie and Bert. Actually, thanks, and interesting to hear that about your cloud journey and what inspired you to start. So actually, I found out the research that mentioned 87% out of the 750 organizations use more than one cloud platform for storage and workload. And over 90% of the large organizations have a multi-cloud strategy. So basically, based on this statistic, it indicates that there is a growing trend toward the use of the multi-cloud solution in organizations. All right, Natalie. So my first question is for you actually. So based on this growing trend and from your experience now, right? What are the some challenges, the common challenges that businesses face when managing multiple cloud environments?
Alrighty, this is actually a very good question. Whereas all of us know that currently there's a lot of cloud technologies being available in the market, be it private cloud, which is it can be an on-premise cloud that running on either VMware, Microsoft, or even open source. And we also do have this public cloud, like for example, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and so on. And of course, there is a lot of people talking nowadays, which is a hybrid mode of having private and public in place. So each of these solutions actually come with their own management portal. So you see, when customer go into a multi-cloud strategy, it could be challenging for the administrator to manage these multi-cloud environments when come to a day-to-day job. So if you can see from the screen, actually the challenges break into three parts, which is complexity, cost management, and also governance. For different cloud solutions offered by different service provider, it's actually running on different architecture, different configuration, and different technology. Hence, it's actually increase the complexity for the administrator to actually manage the multi-cloud when it comes to day-to-day operations. Second thing will be the cost management. Different solutions will actually have their individual cost components, different pricing model, and also their billing system. So for administrator, it's very hard or it could be very challenging for them to keep track and optimize the cost across the multi-cloud platform. So of course, lastly will be the governance, which is when you adopt a multi-cloud strategy, so most of the time administrator will need to make sure that the standardization apply across the different platform to make sure that it complies with the organization policy and also the regulatory requirements. So these are all the challenges that happening nowadays.
All right, thank you, Natalie, for sharing your insights. Now, but I have a similar question for you. But from a technical perspective, could you share with us about the common technical challenges that businesses face when managing multiple cloud environments?
Okay, yeah. So I think from my experience when dealing with large and very diverse and disparate environments, traditionally I think I would summarize it into three key areas, right? Firstly is of course integration. You know, we always have a problem of, okay, like back in the old days where we had Unix, we had AS400s running, we had mainframe running, there was always a question of how do I integrate my applications together? How do I integrate my management together? Unfortunately, coming from the learnings from those days was that, everyone has their own specialty whereby the Unix guys and the Windows or the x86 guys, they do not have much integration among them. The skill sets are all very disparate and very different, right? The second thing that I also always notice is around monitoring. Everyone has their own tool sets, and especially now if you look at it from a cloud perspective, every cloud provider has their own tool sets to monitor the basics, your usage, your billing, your uptime, your services, are they up and running? Every um, cloud provider has their own way. And because each of them have their own way, and I think as what you said earlier, everyone is on a multi-cloud journey. So every industry or every customer that we have, what would have to, like look at 2 to 3 different consoles, just in order to keep updated on their own environment. And lastly, I think this is a key thing that, in the last 3 to 5 years, which is actually automation. Um, I'm a very big proponent of automation because automation is actually critical for managing, all your cloud environments and your deployments efficiently, and also to in order to for you to be able to get it done quickly. The reason why automation to me is key is that it's like when you are deploying a single server, right? You can having an engineer sit there and click through it. It will take him half an hour, right? But as we scale to start deploying tens or hundreds or thousands of servers, you cannot be hiring a 10 or 100 or 1,000 engineers to be sitting there clicking and using a GUI to install, right? We all need it fast. We all need it at the speed of light, right? And secondly, is that when we deal with like the new upcoming methodologies like DevOps, for example, DevOps from a developer perspective is now pretty much like I won't say it's a de facto standard, but I think it's a preferred standard for development. So for DevOps, as you want to deal with deployment, you're actually giving the power to the developers to simplify the development for them in order to come up with their solutions, and for them to speed up their development and coding and testing and so on, right? So that's why personally I feel these three items are key. Integration, monitoring, and automation. And I believe every company should be looking at how can I simplify their cloud journey around these three main issues. Okay.
But thanks for sharing. But I believe we understand the challenges and that businesses face when it comes to managing multiple client environment and also multi-tenant, right? All right. Thank you, Natalie and Bert, for spending time for these sessions. To the audience, if you have a question, you may write the question in the chat room. Next, let's move on to solutions, which Hybr solutions. Just now we heard about what the challenges in the managing multi-cloud environment. Now let's talk about the solutions. For this, I would like to introduce our guest speaker. He has 4 years of professional experience in business development. He also enjoys partnering with clients and helping them discover the best solution. He has been working with the enterprises and service provider customers across the globe to achieve specific business use cases through cloud as solutions. So without further ado, I would like to invite Praveen Rajan to join our session. Hi Praveen, how are you?
Hi Eddie, I'm good. Thanks for the introduction.
All right, just now we discussed about the challenges, and I heard there is a solution that we call it Hybr, developed by the cloud asset. Could you share with us, also with audience, more about these solutions, maybe some of the key feature function, and how can it benefit businesses and overcome those challenges that we mentioned just now in managing their multi-cloud environment and simplify the cloud journey? Yeah.
Sure, Eddie, sure. So thanks everyone, those of you joined the webinar and spending the time with us today. Eddie, let me quickly share my screen. Please confirm once you're able to see it.
All right, yes, I can see it.
Great. So first, those of you not familiar with Cloud Assert, let me take a few minutes to talk about Cloud Assert, and I will help you understand the Hybr cloud capabilities. Okay. So about Cloud Assert, we are an independent software vendor, product and services company focusing on hybrid and multi-cloud and cost management. We are in 10th year of existence now. We headquartered in the United States, having branch offices in India and Canada. Our founder is an ex-Microsoft. He was leading a team of Windows Azure Pack and app services when he was at Microsoft. He started the company in 2014 company, the original focus was delivering solution and services for private and hybrid cloud technologies. We are a Microsoft solutions partner for several competencies, including digital and app innovation, Azure infrastructure, data and AI. We are also working with Microsoft to achieve experts level certifications later this year. Apart from our product lines, we also offer services to the customers by bringing in our cloud expertise in the form of cloud managed services, or to help customers modernize their business applications for the cloud, right? We have customers over 30 plus countries today that spans from small to large enterprises, including Fortune 100 customers, top 5 banking institutions, top financial institutions, top government agencies, OEMs, to name a few. So here is the quick landscape of cloud asset solutions. Like I talked about,
Hello, Praveen. Hello, Praveen. Can you hear me?
yeah, am I audible?
Okay. Yeah, you can too. Just now we have some connection issue.
Okay. So I was saying, this is the quick landscape summary of a cloud asset solution. Our journey as a company, we started off offering solutions by piggybacking Microsoft technologies like Windows Azure Pack and Azure Stack Hub. As I mentioned, we offer solutions for the cloud, and it started with provisioning and management of VMs. That's where cloud orchestration comes into the play. As Bert and Natalie mentioned, that is one of the challenge of customers today. It's not about just provisioning and managing VMs. It's about how do you extend the process of provisioning and management on your own. If you have custom processes that needs to be injected along the way of provisioning and managing your VMs. So extensibility is the key mantra in terms of how you gone about architecting and differentiating your multi-cloud platform comparing the other cloud platforms, right?
Yeah, I see. That's a very
So
interesting. Mhm. Yeah.
yep, yes, sorry. On the one hand, you have this cloud orchestration engine where you can enable provisioning and managing workloads. On the other hand, you have this ability to track the consumption of resources, be it on-prem and be it across the clouds. If you want to apply pricing configuration and track the utilization and generate invoices and be able to bill your customers along the way. So that is the one of other key challenge customers today facing. So that's where billing and cost management capabilities comes into the play. And then we have evolved the platform to support governance and control in terms of being able to apply policies, being able to auto schedule, start or shut down the VM, define quotas, and so on and so forth. And then, when you talk about the specific marketplace experience, for you to let your end users be able to provision and manage workloads by simply accessing the featured products and services through the marketplace, right? Like how you leverage marketplace experience in Azure, we do also provide hybrid marketplace experience for the customers today. So those customers, if you are a direct CSP partner and wanted to provide a self-service provisioning experience, Hybr marketplace experience and multi-tenancy and self-service provisioning capabilities help you to provide self-provisioning experience for your customers to purchase O365 kind of licenses, Azure on their own, right? And when you talk about this cloud migration in terms of discovering resources, be it VMs or be it SQL Server databases or be it websites, you'll be able to migrate them over to Azure Stack Hub or Azure Public Cloud itself. So we also support a little bit of cloud migration as well. Now this end-to-end spectrum of cloud management capabilities are made available through this choices of UI portal. Hybr is the cloud asset flagship product or portal experience. It has a dedicated portal experience for the consumers or customers where they can consume all their services like your Azure Public Cloud experience. And also it comes with a dedicated portal experience for the operators where they can integrate their infrastructures that they want to make available as a service. So, they can do entire governance, quota management, and they can model the way about go about offering all the services to the end customers, and they also able to monitor the cost consumption and billing whatnot through Hybr operators portal. Hybr is an white labeled multi-tenanted self-service solution, that has first class integrations to public clouds, data center platforms for rich management, automation, and reseller billing experience. So in a nutshell, the multi-cloud capabilities of Hybr spans from spectrum of cross-cloud IaaS integration, governance and control, discovery and migration, cost management, service catalog, uh, where you can, if you are a service provider, if you want to integrate your multi-cloud environments with Hybr, you can establish a connection with Hybr and you can manage from a centralized portal.
I see. That's very
Right.
interesting, Hybr. Right. Previously, you mentioned that Hybr can integrate with the multi-cloud environment portal, right? Platform like Azure, VMware, AWS, and others. Could you elaborate more on how easy it is to integrate with those cloud platform?
Sure, Eddie. I'll quickly bring one of my demo environment. Please bear with me a moment. Okay, Eddie, please confirm if you're able to see the portal.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, great. Demo environment, the screen that you are seeing here, operator screen. So I'll quickly show you how easy to integrate your multi-cloud environment with Hybr and manage from a centralized portal. So this is the operator screen. You see demo.admin.hybr.com, right? So this is the administrator or operator's experience. So, as I mentioned, Hybr comes with two different portal experience, or in other words, we offer two portal capabilities as part of the Hybr platform. So let me quickly bring the tenant experience here for your better visibility. So this is the end user experience where your customers will get a separate login to see their usage information, provision resources, whatnot, right from their customer portal. Okay, so as a first step, if you want to integrate your multi-cloud environment, so this is the place where you can find the navigation. So Hybr has a lot of capabilities, and we have enabled various capabilities in this demo environment. When you start using Hybr, we would enable the features that you are interested in, and you license with us. So one of the first step that you need to integrate your on-prem or multi-cloud environment is, you go to Hybr operators portal. So this is the operators endpoint, and you log in as an admin operator. So this is where, we have logged in as an admin user. And the next step would be you need to establish a connection with your multi-cloud environment. For that, you need to move on to vConnect. So vConnect is one of the services in Hybr, which lets you do multi-cloud or hybrid cloud orchestration with your multiple clouds. So this is the place where you see different clouds are like Azure Stack Hub, HCI, AWS, VMware, vCenter, and System Center. So if you are a service provider or enterprise customer, you want to integrate your multi-cloud with Hybr and manage from a centralized place. So vCurrent helps you manage all your cloud environments from a centralized portal through this vConnect. Okay, so this is the place where you need to establish a connection with your particular cloud. So let's say you have investments in VMware vCenter and you want to establish a connection. You can go and provide the connection name, administrative credentials like server URL, username, and password. And once you establish the connection, you can manage it. So similar to that, you can establish a connection with System Center or Azure Stack HCA. If you want to manage Azure Stack Hub, you can create a connection and manage it. So what not, right? So let's say once you have established a connection with your particular private cloud, and here the next question would be, here, how do I model the VM provisioning experience for my end customers? So I want to have different scenarios, and I want to have different use cases where how do I model the VM provisioning experience for my end customers, right? So once you drill down into the particular connection that you have created in the Hybr, you could find the VM templates. These are the basic templates that you need to configure in order to provision a VM. So kind of network details, storage, memory. So these parameter you need to provide. in order to create a connection, right? So you may ask, hey, I do have a different scenario where I do not want to provide these configuration parameters from the admin side. Rather, I want to provide, I want to let my end customer provide these from their customer experience. So how do I do that, right? That is where you can find an option is configurable by the tenant, where once you enable this is configurable by the tenant, while your customers trying to create a virtual machine at their customer portal, it will ask them to provide these details to create a VM. Okay, so that's how you can tailor this experience. Whether you want to provide this parameter or you want to let your customers provide these details, you have the complete control from the admin side. And you can also configure tenant switches, networks, and you can create policies to turn on, turn off. So you have the complete control of what you want to uh, manage through Hybr operators experience. And this is how you can integrate your multi-cloud environment with Hybr through vConnect, and you can manage VM templates, and you can provide or model the VM provisioning experience for your end customers.
So it's like the integration is very easy and straightforward. So we can just go to the vConnect and choose which platform that we want to connect, right? Something like that. Is it? Okay.
Yes,
So
exactly.
my next question is, as Hybr can manage multi-tenancy, just now you mentioned, how can an admin set the quotas for the customers? For example, like in VM operations such as CPU, RAM, etc. Yep.
Sure, Adi. So that's a great question. Today service providers asking, hey, how do I enable multi-tenancy for my Azure Stack HCA? Is there any option in Hybr? Yes, we do enable multi-tenancy in Hybr platform. It's not only for Azure Stack HCA, you can enable multi-tenancy for your other cloud platforms as well. Like how you leverage plans and offers in public cloud Azure, we do have similar concepts in Hybr to create, plans and offers in Hybr, where you can add your services that you need, and you can have your services under the plan, and you can have the quota management, and you can tailor the way you want to provide the experience for your customers. And let's say you have 100 plus customers. Hey, I do not want to provide unlimited experience for my customers. Hey, rather have a quota management. For the first 10 customers, I want to have a different quotas, and for next 10 set of customers, I do want to have different quota settings, and I do not want to enable all the services that I'm offering to my customer. I have different scenario. No, I want to have a specific quotas, and I want to enable specific services to my customers. Where do I go and do in Hybr? So that is the question that we do. We are getting asked by our customers. In Hybr, as I mentioned, you can create unique plans and offers, where you can create a single plan with Hybr, and you can apply that to multiple customers. Or if you want to have multiple plans created, and you can apply that plan to multiple customers. It depends on how you want to have that experience. Under the plan level, you can find, let's say we have created connections with Azure, VMware vCenter or Azure Stack HCA. So all the connections will be shown here. So this is the place where you can pick and choose, hey, which connection I want to enable for my customers who are going to use this particular plan. Okay. So let's say we do want to select this particular Azure Stack HCA cluster. And I want to enable this VMware, and I want to enable this system center. So if you do not want to, you can disable this. And once you click under the VMware, whatever the templates that you have created under this particular plan, all will be shown. This is the place where you can pick and choose which template you want to allow for your customers in order to creating a VM. Okay, you have the control, and you can configure the network, storage, backups. If you have VMware Commvault backup provider and created the connections with vConnect, you can also manage that. And this is how you can select which connections you want to expose to your particular customer. Connections meaning that is the cluster that you have integrated with Hybr. And as you asked Adi, where I go and do the quota management, right? So that is one of the challenge today customers facing, right? I want to limit my customer based on cores, or I want to limit customers on memory, storage. Even the customers today asking, hey, I want to limit my customer based on the number of VMs that they are going to create. And we do have such scenarios like, hey, I want to enable some workflows enabled, and where I want to have workflow settings, and I want to limit that as well. For if a customer creating 10 VMs, I want to enable auto provisioning for first 5 VMs. From the sixth VM, I want to enable workflow for them. So this is the place, where they can limit all those settings from the plan level itself. They can provide the cores and memory, storage, total VM count, snapshot, and number of VMs that should be auto approved. So you have the complete control of what experience you want to provide to your customers and what extent. Okay. And let's say a few customers also asking, hey, quota management is the one part, on the other hand, we do also limit the customer tenant operations. So I want to let my customer set of customers create a VM only. I do not want to let them delete a VM. So where I go and do that. So this is the place, you can allow your customers to creating a VM. You can enable that option and you can disable this deleting a VM. So once you disable it, your customers will not be able to delete that particular VM. So that is how, model the provisioning experience, and you have the quota management and you have the control of allowed tenant operations, and you can save it. And once you save it, you can attach this plan to the offer, and you can onboard a customers in Hybr by simply creating a company and attaching the offer that you have created in Hybr. You can click create a company and provide the company name, identity provider, and you can auto onboard users. You can select that and you can choose the subscription roles. And this is the place where you can choose the offer that you have created. So that's how you can achieve multi-tenancy, and you can create a company and you can add a number of users under this particular company, and whatever the quota that you have assigned to this particular company, the customers or your tenant users can able to view that only, and they can able to provision and manage or provision resources, see their billing information, whatever you have applied to them. So that's how you can have the quota management, and you can tailor the experience for your customers based on what you want to do as per your business use case. Adi.
So from your explanation just now, after we connect the platform with the environment, then we create a plan. So that means we have the plan where we can set the quotas, and then after we set a plan, then you mentioned about we create the offer and link the offer to the when we onboard the company, something like that, right?
Right.
Right, I see. So I have another question. How about the billing and the cost management? Yeah, just now I saw the call it billing or something like that. How Hybrid help in the billing part? Are we able to see reports, or maybe we can generate the invoices?
Yep. Yeah. So as you asked about the billing part, as I mentioned previously, that is the other challenge today. Customer looking for a multi-cloud management platform where they have multiple clouds and they can integrate and manage. So when you come and talk about the billing, they do want to generate bills across their platforms, whatever the services that they are exposing to the customers. They do want to have a unified platform to generate bills, reports, invoices, and they do want to have a mechanism to to consume to track their utilization and charge back them based on their actual consumptions, right? So that is the other challenge. So in Hybr, how do I do that? So under the navigation panel, you can find billing is one of the services in Hybr, where you can similar to WeConnect, you can also navigate to the billing, where you can find high level information about total number of users, subscription, total billable amount, estimated cost. So this is a high level just to understand an admin to see their billing information, and they could view their monthly trade, previous and current month cost comparison data. When you talk about the billing, so the main challenge would be, hey, how do I set the pricing for my customers, right? Customers today want to have a chargeback. That is the one use case, and they want to set a fixed amount. That is the other challenge. So if you are talking about the chargeback, they want to track the actual consumption. So when you talk about the actual consumption, right? So you want to have some meters enabled for them, and you want to apply unit price for that meters. And if they are utilizing it, the billing engine should track the consumptions, and you need to apply cost and generate invoices based on their actual utilizations, right? That is how the billing part should work. And in Hybr, you can set three different pricing models. One is, as I mentioned, you can apply a fixed fee, and you can charge your customers based on their the amount that you are set every month. They'll be charged, and that's the one. And the other hand, you can apply a pay as you go kind of a model, where you can apply some meters, enable meters, apply pricing, and charge back your customers. And third, combination of both, where you can set a hybrid model, you can apply fixed fee, and you can apply combination of both, like applying meters, right? So let me show you how you can do that in Hybr. So I'm just editing one of the pricing profile named default. So here you can provide a friendly name for your reference, and you can enable this monthly fee. So once you enable it, whatever the amount that you specify here, your customers will be charged every month, irrespective of their consumptions, right? And you can also set a one-time fee. So let's say if you're onboarding a new customer, at the time you want to charge a one-time fee, right? So in that case, you can apply this one-time fee. It depends on you, and you can choose a region. The currency symbol will get automatically changed. And if you want to apply some markups, you can apply it in percentage. And if you want to give some discounts, you can apply recurring monthly or one time. If you do not want to provide any discounts, you can disable this. And in percentage, I'm just applying this discounts as recurring monthly, and I do want to have $5 should be discounted for my customers. At that case, you can disable this percentage option, and you can provide that amount. And the other hand, if you want to have 5% discount should be applied, you can enable this percentage option. The value that you have specified will be calculated in a percentage manner. Okay. Now that's how you can apply fixed amount, and you can apply markups, discounts. Hey, you have that question, right? Hey, where do I enable the meters? So that is, you can drill down into this specific pricing profile, and you can find the meters of like CPU allocation count, memory, storage. Based on that, you have the meters enabled in hybrid pricing profile. And you can enable cost for it. Let me edit this pricing profile. You can apply a unit price for this particular virtual machine. So it is based on the CPU allocation count average. So similar to that, you can have your meter enabled for your customers, and you can apply unit price, and you can charge them based on their actual consumptions. Okay. And as you asked earlier, how do I generate reports and invoices, right? So in Hybr, as an admin, you could view the invoices right from here. So you have that option to enable workflows for the invoices as well. So based on your approval, this invoice will be sent to your end customers. You can enable the workflow as well here. And you can have that reports, you can have settings, invoice level setting, exchange rates. You have the complete settings available in Hybr to apply tax, and have different settings will be enabled to charge back or show back your customers. So this is from the admin side. Let me quickly show you from the tenant perspective how the billing looks. Okay, let me bring the tenant portal here. So this is the tenant portal. I'm just moving to the billing part of the tenant side. So this is where you can find the billing period. You can choose a billing period, and you can find the subscription name, and total cost, offer credit that you have applied, tax, and total billable cost. And you can find the billing history. If you want to see the insights and detailed billing information, you can drill down into the subscription, and you can view the insights view, like here, what are my consumption. If your customer asks, you can have the answer handy. You can ask them to view this insights. Just this is their consumption, and these are the meters that you have enabled, and their corresponding cost and billing history. This is place where you can find a list view to understand what are the units that they have consumed and their corresponding cost. So this will help them understand why you charge this much amount for your end customers. And you can have that history invoices here. Customers can view their invoices from the customer portal itself, and they can download the invoices in a PDF format. Okay, and they can view it, and they can download the history in a CSV format. Okay, so we do have a customizable option where whatever the line items that you are seeing here, this is completely customizable, and we can have the invite format should be customizable based on your branding and business. So that's how we can achieve the billing from Hybr. You are on mute.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so basically it's the billing part where we can have set a meter, be metering, and how much our tenant consume, right? Okay, I got it. So I have another question. For example, let's say I'm the administrator and I want to get a workflow approval for me to approve
Okay.
and reject tenant requests. Okay, so with your experience or with Hybr, how do you go about doing that? I think the audience will also like to know how to enable approval workflows for the tenant resource provisioning. Yeah.
Sure, Adi. Yeah, approval workflows are one of the a key part in managing your multiple clouds. If you are managing, or if you're dealing enterprise customer, they do have different departments. And if a user from a department is provisioning a resource, it should be goes for their department head approval before they should be provisioned. So that is how the scenario for enterprise today we are getting from our customers. And also, if you are a service provider, if you want to enable workflows for resource provisioning, you do want to have that, right? So let me show you how you can achieve it through Hybr, and just quickly move on to the WeConnect part from the customer portal. So this is the customer experience. I'm just trying to create a virtual machine resource. Maybe I'm choosing VMware vCenter. I'm just choosing a template that I have configured from the admin side, and I'm just providing the information that needs to be provided now to create a virtual machine. Okay, just providing the admin password for that particular VM. Okay, just providing the admin. Okay, just providing in country time zone, right? So this is how you can do a provisioning from the customer portal. So that is how, as we have enabled different services, right? So you can choose that. I think the VM deployment request has been submitted successfully for the admin. As we are on the customer portal, in order to approve this request, and just quickly move on to the admin side. Just moving to the request management part in Hybr. So this is the place, where you can find the approval request. So this is the VM that we have initiated now, and you can click approve, and admin can view that approved, and you can approve it. Okay, so that is how the approval workflows work. So you can ask, hey, how do I assign? These are the requested, or these are the approvers. Where do I go and configure? So from the admin side, you have the settings option where you can add users in the company, and you can add tier levels. You can have in-tier approval, where under the tier one you can have multiple approvals, and once you approve from the tier one, it goes for the tier two level approval, where you can have managers in the tier one, and IT head or top level management folks in the tier two, and you can have this approve workflow enabled. And once they have approved, it will be goes for the next level, and it's completed. They'll get VM resource get provision. Okay, that's how you see for this cloud admin user, he is approver, and then admin user request. Similar to that, you can assign a role to them. So that's how we can achieve request management capabilities in Hybr. Right?
I think that's cool for Hyper, right? Just now you share about resource management, cost management, request management, right? So what the other scenarios customers can achieve through Hyper? Does it provide any other value prop? By the way, probably you can turn off your camera. Yeah, I think it's some bandwidth issue.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Already. So, when you're talking about the value prop, as I mentioned, Hybrid do provide cloud orchestration, cloud governance, billing and cost management, and, approval workflow mechanism. So these are the main things that, Hybrid helps. So what else, we can achieve through Hybrid is, so if you're a service provider or a enterprise customer, so we do ask, hey, do you want to have a curated marketplace experience to list all your offerings? Today customers offering a different set of services, and providing visibility for their end customers. So they do want to have a curated marketplace experience where they can list all their offerings into the marketplace. And if customers provisioning from the marketplace itself, they do have the visibility of what my administrator or operator, or what my service provider offering to me other than what I am utilizing today, right? So that is how the visibility can be gained from the Hybrid portal, where you can list. So I'm under the service catalog part. So where you can have different catalogs created. Even if you want to publish your VM template into the marketplace experience, You can publish it as a catalog offer to the Hybrid marketplace, and you can let your customers purchase right from marketplace. Okay, so let me quickly edit one of the catalog items. So this has TPS offer, and if you select a different offer demo service card, it has a different SKUs. Similar to that, you can bundle your multiple offerings into a single catalog offer, and you can apply pricing, right? So where your customers will get those offerings from the marketplace itself. You can have your marketplace info, you can add publishers, categories, and you can add tags to differentiate your offers. You can have orders in place, right? So let me show you how this experience looks from the tenant perspective. So this is the customer portal. So I'm just navigating to the service catalog part. Okay. So whatever the offer that you have published from the admin side, it will be shown. So I'm just navigating to the offer where the customers can filter it based on the platform. Azure Stack Hub, System Center, VMware. They can choose the connection level as well. Select the category that you have enabled, and they can click get it. From a single click, they can get this offer. Okay. So if it is a VM resort, it will ask them to provide the basic configuration details, and then that they can click a single click and they can purchase service provider offerings right from this marketplace itself, right? So this is the one experience. The other value prop today we are helping customer is, so if you are a Microsoft Tier 1 CSP partner and wanted to have a self-service provisioning experience for your customers, you can leverage Hybr. Hybr helps you to manage your licenses and automate your CSP provisioning part. You see Microsoft CSP navigation, right? Where you can integrate, if you are a Tier 1 CSP partner, you can integrate your Microsoft Partner Center account with Hybr. And once you integrate, all your customers will be listed. You can map it with Hybr, and you can manage it from a single place. Okay. Let me show you from the tenant side how they can leverage or utilize or purchase the offerings of Microsoft CSP. So this is the Hybr service catalog area or marketplace experience where customers can navigate to the cloud services. So below that, they can find the Microsoft CSP offerings. They can pick and choose based on the product side. They can pick and choose. They can click purchase, and they can choose the license quantity. They can choose the time duration, billing plan, and the subscription, and the amount will be shown. They can purchase it from the self-service experience. So that is how today we help Microsoft tier 1 CSP partners to have provisioning, and they can also manage their licenses that they have already purchased. And we do have a billing enable for Microsoft CSP partners where they can see their utilizations, corresponding bills, invoices, everything for their CSP business.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so as an admin working in a qualified share, so I think it's very interesting to have Hybr, right? So suppose I'm interested in using Hybr solutions. So what are the steps I need to take to get started, and how do I begin using this solution? Because this solution I think is pretty much for me like as an admin, so that I can manage and monitor all my tenant and also manage multiple cloud platform, all the things in one single portal, right? Yeah, that's a question to you. How I can I started with the hide this solution?
Yes, if you are a company or a customer based in Southeast Asia region, you can very well reach Cloudify Asia team where they can help you and assist you as necessary to get started with Hybrid. And if you are part of different region, you can directly also reach Cloud Asset through. You can reach info@cloudasset.com. You can mail us, and we'll be in touch with you to help you understand your how you can achieve your business use case through Hybr, and we will be on standby to help you as necessary. Adi. So you can reach info@cloudasset.com.
Right. Yeah, this have been a very insightful sharing. As an administrator, I believe this solution Hyper will be beneficial for me to manage and monitor all my tenant who are using different cloud platform, right? So I think before we close our sessions, I believe our speaker already shares and shows us the feature function and the capability of Hybr has and how we can start with Hybr Now I open the Q&A, so the audience, you can write the question in the chat room. All right, I think we have a one question here. Can Hybr be customized to include our company's logo or use our preferred theme color?
Okay, that's a great question. So as I mentioned, Hybr is a white labeled solution. You can customize it. You can add your own company logo. You can add your themes, and you can have your branding enabled in Hybr to provide unique experience. You can have admin set a different unique themes to be applied if you can do that, and you can have 10 perspective themes, and you can have your complete branding enabled in Hybr to have a white label kind of a solution. Yes, we do. You can customize it.
Wow, that's great. Okay, I think we have a second question here. Is it possible for Hybr to integrate with the Active Directory AD so that users can utilize their own username and password so that they can access the admin or tenant portal?
Yes, Hybr supports Azure AD as well as we have support for ADFS, AAD-B2C, other identity providers like Keycloak, using which users can log into the admin and tenant portals.
Right, I think that's a pretty common lah to integrate and then to
Yes.
have an ID. Okay, I think we have another question in terms of the security features such as 2FA and MFFA. Does Hybr support this functionality as well?
Yes, we will be able to configure two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication in Azure AD. And once you apply this, it will be applied for Hybr as well, Ari. So you can do that.
Wow, that's great. All right, I think that's all. Thank you so much, Praveen, and to all the speakers for spending time to join our session today.